Alrighty, so right now we are, oops, sorry about that. There we go, all better. So we have a phone here, an iPhone XS Max, that's here for potentially no touch. This customer has taken this device to a different location. You can see there was a lot of physical damage to the back. The screen was also physically damaged. They took it to a different location who told them that it was not a screen issue, it was a motherboard issue because there was no touch and they couldn't fix it, so they were referred here. We have already gone ahead and ruled out a parts issue. We tried an aftermarket screen and we tried 2 OEMs, one brand new and then one from our recycle bin for testing purposes, and all 3 of them we just got no touch. So we're gonna go ahead and do diode mode readings just to rule out that there's any like filter or anything knocked out of place, and if that fails we're gonna proceed with a sandwich separation issue. So let me switch you guys back. So for all intents and purposes, just for an explanation, this right here will be the LCD or image connector, and this one right here, oops, controls the touch, and then this is located in what we call the RF board or bottom layer board, which is separated into different units in this particular model. So we got right here, this is foam board and it got some readings, but they don't necessarily have the full on readings, and we have CXW open right here, which isn't really that much help. They don't have necessarily the readings either, but what we at least want to accomplish is check, is anything giving an actual reading, and try and compare diode modes. I might have a donor board laying around, so I could always get diode modes from there too, but I want to see if anything jumps at me off the bat before fishing through the bin. So essentially what we want to do right now is we want to get readings. So we want whatever's yellow to give us a number, and whatever's gray is going to be ground. So that's going to be 0, it's going to be buzz. Let me switch y'all. Oh, sorry. I thought I had switched you guys to this. So this is the connector in question we're going to be measuring. So all these yellow things are right here. They're supposed to give us a reading, and then whatever's gray is supposed to be ground, so it won't give us a reading. So we want to check which one of these connectors is actually giving us a reading or which one isn't. So for that, we're going to use our multimeter in diode mode, and it's prepared and ready. And then we're going to, so all at the top except the last one are going to give us a connection. And then we're just going to, since we don't have that multimeter reader or the that shows up on the camera, because we're bougie, we're just gonna go old school and guys are just gonna have to trust what we say, which can be difficult, I'm sure. So red probe and ground, black probe probing. Oh, that's not good. Go ahead and try something. Go, so that's working. There we go. Probe and ground. So our first one is OL. That's already not a good sign. Second one is good, 611. Third one is 498, 338, 339, 342, 360, 339. OL, that's also not a good sign. And that's the 6th one now. 665, 600, 560, 327, and 00. So we're gonna make a mental note that the first one and the 6th one before the end aren't good. So we actually just write it down before I forget. Open a note. Pad 1. So top. So we're gonna call it the MM. So top row, pin 1, and from the right end. Okay, so those are the 2 in question that are not giving us readings. We're gonna go back here to CXW, and then on these ones, all of them except 1, 3, and 4 are gonna give us readings. 1, 3, and 4. Let's watch out for those. Okay, so once again, try is ready. You ready? You ready? Yeah, it's ready. And 1 is good. 0, 0. Pin 2, 6, 2, 4. Pin 3 and 4 are both ground. 620, 341, 341, 340, 338, 338, 339, 378, 327, oops, 613. Perfect. So all the pins at the bottom are good. So let's go back to CXW. Click, let's see, where does that go? So Racer Con. So this would be our touch. So most likely we are definitely gonna have board separation. So this right here goes to D. So let's hit refresh. So click somewhere else. Here we go. So we got this pin. This goes to a cap. Caps are unneeded. They're not necessary. So even if it was detached, it wouldn't matter. It would still let the voltage to power on that connector. This right here is the filter. So we can go ahead and verify that the filter is present. That is going to be my first step, or that it's there and it's not detached. But we typically see that on when it says racer connector, that it means that it's a board separation issue. So this right here, when we click on it, this technically would take us to, let's see, RF, racer. Let's see, can we find racer? Racer. Here we go. So we want to find PPMV7 racer or racer con. This bad boy right here. Okay, so we're gonna find racer, and you see how this is right here underneath that connector that we just saw. This will be the bottom layer. This will be like the bottom of it. So this is where racer goes. So that's a pad. So basically it goes from the pin to the cap to the filter, other side of the filter, and then right here. This right here is part of the board sandwich. So when it separates, it loses that connection and it doesn't connect right here, which is another cap, which wouldn't matter, and then it goes to the touch IC. This right here will be the touch IC. So it could easily be the touch IC, or it could be the filter, or it could be just board separation right here, which is what we are trying to verify that it's not. Actually, let's go back, and we saw pin 6 as well. So let's go back. RF2. There we go. And then we also had an issue with pin 1, 2, 3. No. Gotta flip it. One more flip. There we go. 6 1 from the right. So we had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That is also racer. So same thing with this one. It's gonna go cap. So cap, filter, filter. Other side of filter, that's racer to AOP. So we just want to guess, just to give a guess for the customer's sake. Nope, is that it? Where is it? Right here. So we're gonna type in racer again, and we're gonna find AOP. Racer. Racer AOP. AOP, racer to AOP. Here we go. There's AOP Intel. So there we go. We have some separation right here as well. So we have separation here on this end and separation here on this end. And just like the other one, it goes there to that side. So we have separation right here, most likely, right here, and then that's where it goes. So it looks like we just have a separation of this top layer, and we're able to put it back together. We should technically get touched back. So now we're gonna call a customer and let them know the issue, and hopefully they'll want to fix it. So stay put. I'll keep you guys posted. Alrighty, team, we're back. So as of right now, the customer has approved. I'm so sorry, my throat has like the worst tickle right now. Customer has approved that we get started on some board work. Hopefully get this back to her before the end of our closing time. They are not from the area, so time is of the essence. So first thing we're going to try is we're going to inspect the board. under the scope, make sure there's no further separation. My hopes is that a simple reflow would actually put this back together. So let's look at it together under the scope. Okay. I don't know why today. There we go. So right here, that's not looking too bad. It's not looking bent, which is always good news. No bends here, no bends here, no bends here. Nope, none here either. So it doesn't look bent. I can't see through it, which is always good news. It doesn't look like it's been worked on before. It's not sticky or anything. It doesn't look open. So what we're gonna do, yep, this looks good. Okay, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna cut off the sticker. This is the sticker will get everywhere. Okay. It does not look like it's been tampered with in any way, shape, or form. Good. You know what? Let me take this off because this is gonna fall off the board. Why is this stuck on the board? This is like a little screw post, a little grounding clip, and that's not supposed to be stuck. There we go. Okay, so it's all looking good. It's all looking good. So what I want to do is we're going to reflow this, and then hopefully that'll put this section back in place. Okay. I have to break this sticker. Sure, there's no other stickers that I gotta get rid of. We could potentially cause issues or get anywhere. Perfect. We're gonna remove this right here in particular, because then with the heat, this is gonna like get all like crummy. So we gotta remove it before we start, or they make more of a mess, and then they get on the FBCs, and it's a nightmare to clean them up. There we go. Should be good there. Okay. So what we're gonna do now is we're gonna use flux. This. I'm gonna put it all over the sandwich for our reflow purposes. So what it's gonna do, it's gonna get in between the sandwich, and hopefully what it'll do is it'll sort of kind of revive those pads. If they've been like damaged or separated, it'll make them like boil, so to speak. So what it'll do is it'll trigger a chemical reaction. I'll explain that in just a second. I'm gonna make a flexi mess, and that's okay because I can just clean the board after if it's fixed, right? Flexi mess. That's gonna be a mess, guaranteed. Okay, but that's okay. I'd rather have messy and fixed board and no fix at all, right? Okay. So this one, buddy. Let's see about this one. Nope. Maybe this way. What do we put you in? Ah, it's getting all over my fingers. Which way do I want to put you, bud? If I go this way, just trying to find the two circles is gonna fit in. Nope. I get the feeling it's going to be this way. I don't have to do a ton of smacks on this particular preheater, so I usually use my 12 one, but since it's a reflow, I want to make sure that it's being sort of kind of held together. Come on, bud. Just gotta fit in there. There we go. Okay, so what I'm gonna do is this is gonna hold that section down. Okay, so alright, let's do it this way. So this is a little preheater, and this preheater is gonna get up to like a temperature to where the solder in between the sandwich is going to make splitting sides. So the solder melts at a certain temperature. The solder is kind of like glue holding it together. So what it's going to do is it's going to melt. So then the top and bottom are going to be melted together. They're going to be nice and juicy. And basically the flux allows for this chemical reaction to happen. So it's going to make them like nice and shiny and juicy and like liquidy. Think of like the guy from Terminator, that movie, where the guy that came from the future and he was like made of liquid metal or whatever. So think of it kind of like that. So he was made of solder, kind of like that. So it liquefies in the heat. So what it does is the balls get nice and shiny. They get a little liquidy, kind of like that guy, and then they start merging together. So you want those balls that's separated to merge together, and then once it cools down, they remain merged together. That's the end goal here. And that's what we're trying to do with the reflow, hoping that they merge back together. And if they don't, then we have to separate the sandwich completely and redo all those balls and then merge them together shut, which isn't that much more difficult, but it's just like there could be the issue of a potential broken pad, and that's why it's not present. So that could be also be too. The pad could have potentially just broken, and that's why she's not getting touched. But first step is going to be boom, separated. So scope cam, and go. And this is getting nice and toasty under here. We're going to give it a couple minutes and see what happens. All right, so we're back. So we had gone ahead and set a 2-minute timer. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna touch right here, not separated. Just separated it. This side is good. Give me 1 second. Okay, so I'm gonna turn on my fume extractor because it's a little smoky fumes that you guys can't see right here, but they're pretty brutal. So sure, just still not moving. Grab a different set of tweezers maybe. This right here, this good, kind of moving, not really moving up here. Let's see. It's not really moving up here, but up here it has officially separated. You can see right here. The section in question, let's see. You see a little wiggle. What we're gonna do right now is we're gonna turn it off. Grab another set of tweezers and turn it off. I'm sorry. We're going to hold right here. This we're going to hold right here in the middle. And we're going to let it cool down. And then once it cools down, so we're going to let it go and hopefully it's good. So we're going to hold it for about 3 minutes. And if there's still no touch after this, what we call a reflow, if there's still no touch, then we're going to have to proceed with a sandwich bleeding and looking for broken pads. 1 more minute. Seconds. Four, three, two, one, and release. There we go. Let's let that finish cooling up for another couple minutes. Okay, so we're back. It is now out of the enclosure thing. Does not look like it has caused any further separation damage. It looks pretty good. Because the goal is like you don't want to see inside. If you can, then the reflow was not successful. So let's try cleaning this off first. Ooh, God, that's hot. Hot, 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 hot. Clean all those connectors. Make sure that there's no flux everywhere because I did apply a lot of flux. Make sure it's all nice and clean. And we're not using water, we're using 99% isopropyl alcohol, which is not damaging to phones at all, because it has very, very little. 1% alcohol, like 1% water is nothing. I always have to clean this back here because sometimes it gets gross and sticky. There we go. It's looking good. Inspecting it a little more. No separation. Nothing in the sim tray. There we go. Now you guys can see a little better. Nothing here. It's good. This. A little separation here, but these are grounds that they don't matter too much. This one's right here, a little concerning. This right here looks a little lifted. This is right here, looks good. Okay. Let's check those specific pads again that were in question. See if we get the same result. Or a different one over here. So we're looking at pads. I'm looking at pads 1 and the 6 one from the right. Oops, my multimeter's like everywhere. My multimeter probes got tangled with each other. There we go. Okay, so red probe on ground. So ground's gonna be our screw post. Okay. And then, oh, that's still out. 1, 2. 6. Okay, so one of them is back, potentially. So what's the readings? Three, 4, 5, 6. Let's see. Round, that's good. 326, 548, 570, 640, 333, 353, 354, 332, 331, 486, 586, and that first one is still OL. So where does this go? GMB67. Does not go. That's fine. Where else will that go? Let's move you guys over here. So we're trying to do a little more research on CXW. Checking. Looking for eraser line. BN67. Yeah. So this section definitely didn't, but it is OL, so maybe that'll be the trick. So let's try it again. If that worked. This is supposed to read OL, so maybe it's supposed to read OL all along. And I'm just making a big deal out of nothing, because that line does read OL with this open line, and that is what my meter is saying, and the other side did already return what it's reading, actually. Let's put it back in the housing. Just because I'm feeling a little lazy right now, just put it back in the housing. So you can just use the power button to prompt to boot. Hopefully would that not cause any additional issues with the reflow. That's always the fear, you know, will I cause further problems than I need to fix? Okay, we got that now. Here's the LCD connector right here. And then this is for touch. Okay, supplies on. We got image. Okay. Let's see if we got touch. Okay, let's see. And we have touch back. Holy shit. Okay. Hang on, y'all. Okay. Got him, the tits. Okay. Hang on. There we go. There we go. There we go. Emergency. Come on, buddy. There you go. Okay, well, my screen's no good, obviously, at the top. That is why it's a tester screen. But the touch is working. Holy shit. And then that thing does go work. This is incredible and it's amazing. This customer is going to be absolutely ecstatic. Hopefully we do not have any further issues. As of for now, it's just saying unable to detect Face ID, but that is also because it's the tester screen. It's not going to have a near speaker flex. No SIM card installed, which makes complete sense because obviously there's no SIM card installed. Hopefully we do have the passcode, and that way you can drop my AirPod, run further testing and take it from there. Awesome, guys. Thank you so much for staying for this video, and I will be uploading this as is. No editing, because I'm cool like that. Alright, see y'all. Have a good weekend.